What'd you find?
Enough distraction. Do not forget why we are here.
Hello there fellow MN Gaming members, it's Salahuddin101 here. We are here with God of War, but it's on PC now. Now this game was originally released on PS4 April 20th 2018, and since then this game has been well received by all players, and this game has been updated for newer consoles like PS5. Thankfully, even more people can enjoy it. This PC port so far, at least in our first impression, is pretty awesome.
You are not ready! Stay back!
As you can see on the gameplay that we are showing, God of War is a high graphics and performance game, so if you want to play or run it in native 4K, you're gonna really need some serious hardware. But on the other hand, thankfully, the minimum requirement is reasonable. Whatever the resolution or frame rate, hopefully a lot of different people with different PC builds will be able to experience this game. We have been playing around with the settings using some DLSS. There are a good number of options to play around with the graphics and performance. As you can see on the screen, it's broken down to display settings and graphics settings. You can change resolutions and frame caps, and it has ultra wide support too, which is awesome, guys. In graphics, you can adjust shadows, reflections, text quality, all that stuff while playing the game without having to reset it. We'll be honest here with you, whether it's on base PS4 or all the way up to PS5, they have worked some magic with this one. So now on PC, to have it in super high resolution, super high frame rate, it's incredibly awesome. Looking at this game visually from an art standpoint, nothing really has changed here. It looks similar, it's all technical. The lighting is a bit strong, sometimes slightly different in spots, but barely noticeable. The textures are sharp, it's simple, which is good. If you can run this game, you can get yourself the best possible looking version of this game with zero compromise from technical standpoint. Now you can play with mouse and keyboard, and it feels better than you would expect. For this review, all the footages here are mostly used by our Xbox controller, but we have tested out playing with mouse and keyboard. Like for example, throwing the X a lot more accurate and don't have feedback as much, but you really can nail those shots with the satisfaction. If you have played like us, you are in for a fresh game. Like we said, slightly prettier and dramatically smooth experience. If you have never played this game at all, you got one hell of a game in front of you. Now years later, we are playing it again here. It's remarkable how it took such a big risk by stripping away what made God of War on surface. Like hacking, slashing, beating people up, the QTE style gameplay with platforming, some good boss battles with tons of rage, blood, craziness, orbs.
Wow, kids. Mother must have been some whore to play with the lottery angels.
I'll kill you!
You get here what seemed at first a simple story of a grieving father and a son who ate on the same page an old and slow Kratos who is not as cool. But play it for a while, you'll see that they did a great job taking the old God of War stuff and turning into something new that actually doesn't really lose its identity. Like, you must look for those little details. But it's still a video game with combat, violence and all the cool stuff. It also got a bit more heart in its story and really focus on telling it front and center. You're still doing God of War stuff, you are still juggling enemies, you're still doing cool combat. It feels like an evolution of old games. You got satisfying combat with good feedback, cool execution, kills, the combat movesets get more complex over time, and the parry is simply awesome. The weapons feels great, the abilities and the special moves are fun to execute. The bosses are kinda bummer though. They are mostly repetitive battles, for example featuring different trolls, spawning of same enemies in different locations. There were some minor disappointing areas back then, which are still there even now. But if you stray off the main story path, you can find some other cool battles at least. But that will repeat itself a bit. And some of the execution, the animations were a little bit repetitive then, and it still is. But it's still a minor thing in the game. The game is really well balanced placed and slowly open itself up to give you some freedom, exploration, side diversion to not only just to have more fun but to grow your character out a little bit. Kratos now has stats, level ups, loots with different buffs, but it's a quite well balanced game. Like you're not going on those complex treasure hunts, but the game and its environment does a really good job of rewarding you for just looking around a little bit extra. And the stuff you get makes you want to look around a little bit extra. Scan the environment for some stuff to knock down to get some currency. Or maybe find a quick little puzzle that will unlock a chest for you that will give you new armor. Or a new rune for your weapon. It's like the perfect amount. The same thing with the hub area, a little bit of open end travel. It hasn't become an open world game, but it gives you just enough environment to make you feel you have a little bit of downtime to really explore and stroll around. And like the game with its balancing act it plays, like every time it starts to bring you crazy gameplay moments like giant snakes, Valkyries, elves, dragon fights, it brings things back down to earth with a great story that's very simple and sweet. The game is amazing because of the balancing act it plays between being absolutely huge at times, going full God of War, then being absolutely small with actually being interesting with the real feelings.
You're cracked, you know that?
Well. Good. We should keep moving.
It's fun to see how they grappled with some of the stuff like acknowledging Kratos' past. We think they did a great job with it. And like we said before, if you have never experienced this game, now is the time. The version which we played is available and running on Steam. It's also available in Epic Store. It was an awesome experience playing it again. And there was unfortunately some technical issues, like few Windows 11 issues that were infrequently crashing. A UI issue that caused small memory leaks and health bar not showing in-game. All these issues were resolved by game patch updates. We can't help ourselves just be excited for the people who are playing for the first time and just jump in with all the added stuff that the game got with photo mode, graphics and everything. We're going to let the gameplay run for a little bit. Just want to say thank you for listening in. Leave a like and subscribe. Peace out everyone. Stay safe.
Alright, brother, let's see what those blades can do.
Go!